I've seen some certain tournaments and some certain players, and I said to myself that these dudes never get tired. Let's talk doping. So obviously, over the years, I've sort of, cracked a few jokes in relation to like, okay, have people doping and people doping, blah, blah, because I thought that the Spanish guys doped in 2010. But put jokes aside, do you really believe in a sport at this level, there is no doping? Do you really believe that the so-called anti-doping agencies are really performing at the standards with which to catch out any people that are doping? So this is what Neville said, on the Overlap podcast. Says, I'd be walking off absolutely shattered, and I'd be looking at players I'd played against, a couple of Italian teams. They looked like they'd not even played a match. And I think that you can always tell as a professional when, wait, hang on. We are both human beings. We've both done the same kind of running around. I feel exhausted, and these guys look like if they can run another marathon. The math isn't mathing. That's what I say, like, the math isn't mathing. So, and it's so funny that he pointed to the Italian teams because we all know what's happened with Calciopoli. So this is just really an article that I thought would be interesting to bring up. So, let me bring that back down. There we go. So this is 94 to 98. So perhaps the biggest, most advanced, most successful, and best-known doping case in the 20th century football involves Juve. During the late 90s, Moditax, the team won 3 Scudetti, reached 3 successive Champions League finals, and won a World Club Cup. The team was brimming with talent: Vialli, Ravanelli, Deschamps, Del Piero, Vieri, Zidane, to name a few. But there was another pillar that supported their success: doping. It was Roma manager Dinek Zeman who first cast his doubts over the physique of several Juve players. Zeman observed that players like Vialli and Del Piero had grown in size. So wait a minute. So is this like Hulk? Bro, this is like Incredible Hulk serum. Because I just got done watching First Avenger and Winter Soldier. I literally just finished watching Winter Soldier again like an hour ago. So did they give them like the Captain America Super Soldier serum or something? The heck? A feat only achieved through doping. Zeman went on to state that doping was rampant in Italian football. He was mainly attacked by much of Italy's football world, but a Turin magistrate named Raffaele Guaraniello decided to launch an investigation. After 2 years of dedicated research, Guaraniello had gathered enough evidence to do what had never done before in football: make a case against an entire club for systematical doping use. 2 years later, the judge delivered the verdict. Juve's doctor, Agricola, was found guilty of administering illegal substances to footballers of the club, including EPO, the new form of blood doping that had completely changed the world of cycling in the 90s. Shout out to Lance Armstrong. Astonishingly, when all was said and done, neither the club nor any of the players received any type of punishment. Agricola was allowed to... Okay. See, this is where Italy just needs to relax. You see, this is where we might have to put Italy under review. Not inducting, no buongiorno, ciao. But we have to put you under review. So he was found guilty of administering illegal substances. There are players who took illegal substances, but none of the players, neither the doctor, was actually punished. And I think this is from England Times, so that in his biography, Gary Neville makes a mention of something that's happened in the English camp during the 98 World Cup. Players lined up to receive injection. Ooh. When the 98 World Cup started, some of the players started taking injections from Glenn's favorite medic, a Frenchman called Dr. Rougier. Sounds very dodgy indeed. After some of the lads said they felt a real burst of energy I decided to seize any help on offer. So many of the players decided to go for it before that Argentina match that there was a queue to see the doctor. What was in these injections, we'll likely never know. So, and that's it. That's the thing about, whenever you talk about something, because Neville, you've now brought this up, guys now do their digging on you as well. So again, Neville, what was in those injections? So you received an injection that had like Lucozade in it. Here is the larger question here. Do I believe that there has been doping in football? 100%, 1000%. Do I believe that there is still doping in football? Perhaps. Perhaps because, guys, we have to be realistic here. We are dealing with the human race and we're dealing with humanity. When you realize that, and when you realize there's so much at stake, when there's so much at stake, you will do anything to win. You look at the whole Lance Armstrong story, and you look at the whole thing that came out with his cycling. I remember, because I always used to watch Eurosport, so Eurosport was a big thing that I used to watch, and I just knew about Lance Armstrong because I turned on the Eurosport, view it, and Tour de France, let me go watch Tour de France, because I was just a sports guy. I like watching sports. And Lance Armstrong, he was the face of cycling and of the Tour de France. So once it came out that he was doping, Lance Armstrong was okay, but he found guilty. But Lance Armstrong also said that, do you think I'm the only guy doing this? You see, Juventus, they doped. Are they the only guys who doped? Are you telling me that only teams in Italy are guilty of doping? I see nobody in Spain, nobody in England, nobody in Germany. None of these countries, none of them are involved in any kind of doping. High level, so much at stake, history, legacy, money, Wikipedia tax. A doctor can give you an extra boost, an extra bit of energy, just to give you that extra edge. And you're not going to do it? Because some of these players, they may have received some that we don't know. Because, guys, let's keep it real. As these top professionals you receive so much stuff. Medicine, supplements, all bunch of stuff. And are you telling me in all the supplements that you're given, in all the different medications that you're given, some are, of course, legal to stay in good shape, stay in a high peak fit condition. Do you think that none of these are potential performance boosters? I mean, you would be really naive to think that teams today, top-level teams, top-level players, don't have some kind of performance enhancers. It's impossible. Because, again, I ask you guys this. Do you really believe everyone is clean? Every single player, every top club, it's clean and they are following the rules. If you believe that, you are naive. You see, but the question now is, how can you prove it? You may never be able to prove it because it may be very hard to prove. So, but my belief is I just do the mathematics. I do the calculations. I see what has happened in other sports. I've seen what has happened in boxing, what has happened in cycling, what happened in baseball, and the whole baseball drama with Barry Bonds and Brown. It's Maguire, whatever his name is. He was doping as well. That when guys were facing that whole batting record, that guy was freaking doping. It has happened in every sport. Every major sport you can think of, there has been an element of doping. And you would be naive to think that only Juventus and only the Italian teams were the only guys who doped. You'd be naive. You'd be naive. You'd be naive. So, but the question is, who is and who isn't? But you have to just realize that there's just so much at stake now. You see, we're not playing school football. This isn't Tilly. This is not tic-tac-toe. We're trying to win a World Cup. We're trying to win a Euros, an AFCON. We're trying to win a Champions League. We're trying to win a league title. And when you are so close and there's a chance you can gain an edge without anyone knowing, screw it. Screw it. Like, as I said again, 100% there have been people who have doped. Because, I don't want to name any names, maybe we can discuss this maybe on a hangout, but I've seen some certain tournaments and some certain players, and I said to myself that these dudes never get tired. These dudes have played for 90 minutes. The way these guys are pressing for the best part of 90 minutes. How do you have this energy? How can you be able to walk so hard off the ball and be able to press at such a high level for the best part of 90 minutes? That's possible. And in my mind, I said to myself that these guys have to be juicing. These guys have to be juicing because I don't know how the human body naturally can press that intensely for the best part of 90 minutes. I can't. I don't understand that. So it's an interesting one. I mean, I want to hear what you guys think, and maybe we'll have it as a discussion, which is the facts of, do you still think people are doping today? How many people, how many teams do you think are doping? And how deep do you think potential doping arises? Or you may say to yourself that, no. Football doesn't dope. That there are Fatima tests, random anti-doping tests. Football has a big magnifying glass, so there's even much more scrutiny involved right now. So as of right now in today's game, no, it's far cleaner because of so much anti-doping procedures that surround the sport right now that it is not feasible for you to be doping. It's not even worth the risk to dope. You may believe that, and that may be true. I'm just saying that there's a chance that it may not be true, or it could be true. But look at some UCL wins, some World Cup wins, some league wins, some specific players, some specific teams. And you've got to say to yourself that, were these guys 100% clean?